ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to an episode of Tripping Ain't Easy. I am your host, Trip Simpson, back in the building and ready to get this grill lit up today. I want to get into some of this testimony at the Johnny Depp defamation trial. But before we do that,
I know you're gonna look after family.
gotta look out for family.
What family you talking about, Ice?
Fuck, I look invisible, nigga.
That's right, I am not invisible. So ladies and gentlemen, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell and select all. So, as you guys know, superstar actor Johnny Depp has been in the news lately because his trial against his ex-wife Amber Heard, most famously seen in Aquaman and other movies. He's suing her for defamation. Back in 2016, she filed a couple of restraining orders against him, claimed abuse. And because of that, Johnny Depp lost a lot of money. Most notably, he lost his contract with Disney with Pirates of the Caribbean. And he's suing her for $50 million for defamation. And the main piece, or the main reason why he's suing her for defamation is because of a 2018 op-ed that she wrote in the Washington Post. We'll get into that in a second. But real quick, before we get into the article and the videos, I just want to tell you guys, man, it is very important to document, fellas. When you're in the end stages of a relationship or a divorce, especially if it's with somebody that you got pregnant or have a baby by, or somebody that you married to, it's important to document everything. Why do I say this? Because I'm a person who's been through a situation similar to Johnny Depp. Won't say with who, won't say when, where, and why, but I've been through it and I document it, and documentation really counts for a lot. It really does. I mean, you still might get screwed, but you'll get screwed a little less if you have documentation. So without any further ado, let's get into the 2018 op-ed that Amber Heard wrote. Okay. All right, so this is from the Washington Post. Amber Heard says, "I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change." Amber Heard is an actress and ambassador on women's rights, blah, blah, blah. Okay. She starts here. I was exposed to abuse at a very young age. I know certain things early on without ever having to be told. I knew that men have the power physically, socially, and financially, and that a lot of institutions support that arrangement. I knew this long before I had words to articulate it, and I bet you learned it too. I want to pause right there. Right off the break. This is how these people frame their argument, right? Keep in mind, we're going to get into some of the evidence and some of the things that came out in this trial, but pay attention to how she's framing this. Pay attention to how she's framing this. First, number one, she's making things up, because everyone knows right now a woman can make an accusation against a man right now. Everybody believes her. The man's basically guilty until he can fucking pull a horseshoe out of his ass to prove his innocence. Right there, she's capping. Because the institution at this point is built against men. You can look at what's going on with Johnny Depp right now. But anyway, let's keep going on with the article. So, like many women, I had been harassed and sexually assaulted by the time I was of college age. Then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. Where's my stop the cap at?
Stop the cap.
Stop the cap. Friends and advisors told me I would never again work as an actress.
Stop the cap.
That I would be blacklisted.
Stop the cap.
A movie I was attached to recast my role.
Stop the cap.
I had just shot a 2-year campaign as the face of a global fashion brand, and the company dropped me. Questions arose as to whether I would be able to keep my role of Mera in the movies, Justice League, and Aquaman. She kept her role. One more time.
Stop the cap.
I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse.
Stop the cap.
God damn. The cap just don't stop. But see, let me pause right there. Modern women eat this bullshit up. Not all, but a lot of them eat this bullshit up. They start talking all of these wild shit. They start giving all of these pseudo facts that they can't back up to get you to feel sorry for them. This is what they do. And it's this op-ed right here that pretty much ruined Johnny Depp's career. In recent years, the Me Too movement, let me give them what they deserve.
Stop the cap.
Has taught us about how power like this works, not just in Hollywood, but in all kinds of institutions, workplaces, places of worship, or simply in particular communities. In every walk of life, women are confronting these men who are buoyed by buoyed by social, economic, and cultural power. And these institutions are beginning to change. We are in a transformative political moment. The president of our country has been accused by more than a dozen women of sexual misconduct, including assault and harassment. Now she's trying to throw Trump into it. She's trying to throw all this cap into the situation so she can ruin Johnny Depp. Outrage over his statements and behavior have energized the female-led opposition. Hashtag Me Too.
Stop the cap.
Started a conversation about just how profoundly sexual violence affects women in every area of our lives. And last month, more women were elected to Congress than ever in our history, with a mandate to take women's issues seriously. Women's rage and determination to end sexual violence are turning into a political force. We have an opening now to bolster and build institutions protective of women. And fellas, let me tell you something. I'm reading this. I'm going to read this whole article because when we get into the other evidence, you're going to see how full of cap this broad is. And ladies, hopefully by the end of this video, you guys learn a lesson. Stop falling for this cap. All right. For starters, Congress can reauthorize and strengthen the Violence Against Women Act. Please don't do that. First passed in 1994, the act is one of the most effective pieces of legislation enacted to fight domestic violence and sexual assault. It creates support systems for people who report abuse and provides funding for rape crisis centers, legal assistance programs, and other critical services. It improves responses by law enforcement, and it prohibits discrimination against LGBTQ survivors. Now, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? See how she's doing? See what she's doing? She's summoning the woke Justice League all at once in this Washington Post article. She's summoning them. She's summoning them all. Summoning them all. Funding for the act expired in September and has only been temporarily extended. All right, we should continue to fight sexual assault on college campuses while simultaneously insisting on fair processes for educating complaints. Last month, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos proposed changes to Title IX rules governing the treatment of sexual harassment and assault in schools. While some changes will make the process for handling complaints more fair, others would weaken protections for sexual assault survivors. For example, the new rules will require schools to investigate only the most extreme complaints, and then only when they are made to designated officials. What's wrong with that? Women on campuses already have trouble coming forward about sexual violence. Why would we allow institutions to scale back supports? I write this as a woman who had to change my phone number weekly because I was getting death threats. For months, I rarely left my apartment, and when I did, I was pursued by camera drones and photographers on foot, on motorcycles, and cars. Tabloid outlets that posted pictures of me spun them in a negative light. I felt as though I was on trial in the court of public opinion, and my life and livelihood depended on my myriad of judgments far beyond my control. I want to ensure that women who come forward to talk about violence receive more support. We are electing representatives who know how deeply we care about these issues. We can work together to demand changes to laws and rules and social norms, and to the right imbalances that we have shaped our lives.
Stop the cap.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you just saw, or what I just read, pretty much sums up the whole entire Me Too feminazi-led agenda, which basically demonizes and criminalizes men, strips them of their financial, strips them of their finances, and also ruins their careers because of a bitter and or jealous and or greedy woman. There's nothing stopping a greedy woman from ruining your life. And it's articles like that that set the tone, because people actually eat this bullshit up. But what we're going to come to find out is it's all cap. In fact, she is the abuser, claiming to be abused. And this goes on in many relationships. That's why, fellas, you got to be careful, but that's a whole nother conversation. So what I want to do next is I want to get into a part of the Johnny Depp defamation trial where some of the audio gets leaked of some of the audio gets leaked of their disputes. And I want you to hear the complete and utter evil in this woman's soul as she's tormenting this poor man. Let's get to it.
Pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 343. And for the record, this is an audio recording. It's quite lengthy, so we intend to play certain portions of it.
Okay. Any objection?
No objection, other than we'd just like to know what minute, second portions they're going to play.
Okay, but the entire audio is in evidence, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And no
Yes.
objection? Okay, all right,
And
343 in evidence.
If you'd like me to read the specific minutes now, or we can provide it to council afterwards.
Hey, if you want it now, or as you go, or, okay.
We intend to play minute 25, 37 seconds through 26, 28. 1 hour and 57 minutes, 21 seconds through 1 hour, 58 minutes, 54 seconds. 2 hours, 38 minutes, 52 seconds through, 2 hours, 38, 52 seconds through 2 hours, 39.
Real quick, I'd like to say fair use, fair use, fair use.
Minutes, 43 seconds. And then 2 hours, 46 minutes, 1 second through 2 hours, 47 minutes, 20 seconds. Those are 4 clips.
Okay.
One more time, shout out to Johnny Depp for getting the audios, the videos, the pictures, everything he presented in court is exactly how y'all need to move, fellas. And when you see it coming to an end, you got to do this. Stop getting emotional and record, document.
You that it was okay. That's the promise you gave me a little while ago. I'm telling you, if you lost memory last night of kicking me out the door with the fucker hitting me.
Again,
And
sorry.
and your memory is gone from you kicking the bathroom door and hitting me in the skull as I was bent
Again,
down.
I am
Wait,
sorry.
if you have those memory fucking divots.
I was upset. There was a lot going on,
okay,
and I was
wait.
on an Ambien. Like,
Okay,
why?
wait.
Like, why are you obsessing over the fact that I can't remember it the way you remembered it? I said I was sorry. I didn't deny
know
it.
that. I'm not talking about that. What I want. It's not to get you mad. It's not to get. It's just to get out of a bad situation while it's happening before it gets worse. In Australia, when we had the big fight where I lost the tip of my finger, at least.
Did you hear what he said? In Australia, they had a big fight. He lost the tip of his finger. This chick threw a vodka bottle at him and severed his finger.
5 bathrooms and 2 bedrooms I went to.
To avoid talking to me. To
To
avoid
escape
working it out. That's
to
the
escape
problem.
the fight.
You don't escape the fight. You escape the solution.
No.
You escape the solution.
No.
You escape figuring it out. We kept.
Listen to this crazy bitch. He says he's trying to escape a fight, to escape a physical altercation. And just like a textbook abuser, she turns herself into the victim.
Cannot work it out if you run away to the bathroom every time.
Listen to me. Listen to me. A boxer can't go 12 rounds without a fucking minute break.
I'm not giving you a minute break. You do it at minute 3 at the beginning of an argument.
No. There are rounds, man. And when it gets too fucking hairy, the ref splits them apart or whatever. But all I'm saying is, you can't have a solution if the argument just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting and mounting. I fucking go into the bathroom and sit on the floor. Bam, 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 here you come.
Crazy. Crazy. The man tried to get away, hide in the bathroom. She's come banging on the door.
I come out. Fight, crazy, escalated. I split again, I go to another fucking bathroom or a bedroom or something. Knock, 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 bang, bang, bang. You kept coming to get me. I'm not the one who fucking throws fucking pots and
That's
whatever the
different.
fucking else at me.
That's different. That's one does not negate the other. That's irrelevant. It's a complete non sequitur. Just because I've thrown pots and pans does not mean that you come and knock on the door. Just be.
Gotcha, bitch. Gotcha, bitch. Gotcha, bitch. Here we go.
Because there are bases does not mean that you come and knock on the door.
Really, I should just let you throw.
I'm not saying that. You're saying that. You're putting words in my mouth and then making non sequiturs.
I'm giving you a situation.
No, you're trying to justify how you don't or do come to the door based on whether I throw pots and pans. It's irrelevant.
No, I'm justifying how you seem to think that there's this cowardice in me that runs away and I don't fight for you.
And you're justifying that by saying I throw pots and pans? Okay, cool. Let's talk about everything you do wrong.
I'm not the one who...
Gotcha, bitch. Look at that face. Gotcha, bitch. But wait, there's more.
I said to Travis, I said to you, hey, tell Travis what just happened.
You told me to do it. You told me to. You said, go do that.
I said, no, tell him what just happened.
And I lied.
And that you punched me in the
You're right.
fucking thing. And
You figured
in
it
the
out.
face. And you said, no, fuck it. No, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? And I
didn't
watched
punch
you lie. And then
I didn't punch you,
and
by
then
the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not
Gotcha, bitch.
punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, even a lot of fights, been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
No, when you fucking have a close
You
fist.
didn't get punched. You got.
Here we go. Now she's trying to convince him that what she did to him wasn't that bad because she didn't feel it was that bad. She's hitting him, she's attacking him, she's throwing bottles at him, she's throwing pots and pans, she's slapping him, punching him, whatever. And she's basically saying, oh, you ain't no man. You didn't let me whoop on your ass. But this is the same chick in 2018 writing in her article about how she's been abused and women's rights and how women need all these protections. She benefited from the Women's Rights Act of 1994 and all those bullshit ass protections that are in there because she used those benefits that automatically indict men to her benefit, only to turn around and now the truth is coming out and she's the one who did all that. Not to go off on a tangent, but Judge Joe Brown, I had a clip on YouTube not too long ago where he was talking about Ike and Tina Turner and how he knew Ike Turner and knew Tina Turner, and he knew of how the story What's Love Got to Do With It was complete bullshit because in actuality Ike Turner was the one getting his ass whooped by Tina Turner. But Tina Turner came out with this movie making it seem like she was the victim. Same type of shit. Amber Heard did the same type of shit. Turned herself into the victim when she was actually the abuser.
Not hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what
Gotcha, bitch.
the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are you?
What am I supposed to do? Do this?
Gotcha, bitch.
You're fine. Fellas, I'm going to reiterate this once again and probably a couple of more times throughout this video. Document, document, document. You can tell the police all day how you're getting abused, and you can tell the court they won't believe you. You got to document. And hopefully you only have to document once, because once it happens once, you need to get the fuck out of there. Document. 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 Just a word of advice. You document, don't call the police that night. Wait till everything's pulled over, then the next day you go down to the station. First, get a lawyer. Have you and your lawyer go down to the station and then you present your evidence to the police or detectives or whoever. Because if you call that night, they're going to lock you both up.
I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you started.
You are such a baby. Grow the fuck up,
You started
Johnny.
physical fights.
I did start a physical
Yeah,
fight.
you did.
Gotcha, bitch.
So I had
Because-
to get the fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are admirable.
Gotcha, bitch.
This is court evidence. You know, one thing that really baffles me is that their lawyers had to have heard these tapes in discovery. This is how you know the system is twisted, and this is how you know women can get away with it, whatever the fuck they want. If this was a dude and she had that type of evidence on him, he would have settled right away. Because there's no way that you're going to be able to come back from that. Admitting to beating on a woman, and she's got you on tape. There's no court case. What you want? 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 mil. I mean, Johnny Depp got bread. What do you need? Her? She's going to fight the case. She's going to fight it. And she's dead fucking wrong. But she's going to fight it anyway. Why? Because she knows in America that even with all the evidence he has, he still only has a 40 to 50% chance of winning this case.
Mr. Depp, could you please explain to the jury what they just heard on those audio recordings?
what was just played on the audio recordings was very much the tone and the aggression and the attitude and the need for a fight from Ms. Heard. That was, I don't know if that was some need for attention, but
Fair use, fair use, fair use.
I don't. That was a sound that I had gotten very used to. The squabbling, the you know, the raising of the voice to essentially excommunicate anything that I had to say about the situation. But then, and I do remember that incident. I believe that's from the when I was in the bathroom, and I was in fact taking a shower, and this was in penthouse 3, and she came banging on the door, banging on the door, banging on the door. I didn't answer. I was in the shower. I couldn't deal with it. I didn't want to deal with any more of that.
Listen to this man. This man sounds broken. All he tried to do was get away from the situation, go take a shower. She's banging on the door, banging on the door, banging on the door.
Sarcastic, demeaning, aggressive, violent, toxic, spew. And so I was taking a shower and I didn't want to answer the door. She kept banging. And then I finally got out of the shower and I opened the bathroom door about just that much, just so I could have a good hold on the door in case she tried to burst in. And I was right, she did. Bathroom doors go in. She was pushing all her weight on the door, trying to get in. And I was pushing back because I didn't want to let her in, because I obviously didn't want the confrontation. She was not in the best of moods. You can hear.
Gotcha, bitch. Gotcha, bitch. Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha, bitch.
So when I was pushing the bathroom door, trying to close it, and was almost closed, she suddenly kind of yelped in pain. And she screamed out, "Ow, my toes or my foot or something." And so in that second, I thought possibly her foot had gotten caught under the door, which would, of course, not feel great on the foot or the toes. So I thought she was maybe injured.
And look at that. He still had compassion for her, even through all that. Big mistake. Fuck the compassion, bro.
I knelt down to have a look. The door was still, it was still pretty well about that much open. And when I knelt down on my hands and knees to look at her foot to see the injury, she kicked the bathroom door into my head.
Gotcha, bitch.
So yeah, she kicked the bathroom door into my head, and I was completely taken aback by such a corrosive, horrific move. So I stood up, and I believe I stood up, and but at this point the door was open. I stood up and I said, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? And the next move was just a bang. It just she clocked me in the jaw, and that was another shocker.
How long after that did you start recording?
Sorry?
How long after that did you start recording that audio recording that we just heard?
That audio recording was about her trying to make less of what had happened. In fact, trying to make less of what had happened by repeating some story to me that didn't make any sense, and it certainly didn't make any sense since I was there and I was the target. So I wanted some confirmation from someone with some semblance of a mind that could understand what was happening. I wanted Mr. McGivern to come up, and I asked her to tell him what had just happened. And her answer was essentially, I don't know what he's talking about. Nothing happened. He's fine.
Gotcha, bitch.
So as you can see, that altercation was documented perfectly. I really don't see, based on that, how she has a leg to stand on. Of course, she still has to give her her testimony. But all in all, man, just the type of things that have come up in this court case so far have been so damning. I really don't see how a jury, a judge, or whoever the hell is going to decide the outcome of this case could see it any other way. This woman is clearly crazy. I have one more clip I want to play. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's rather long. Well, this was long, but this is longer than that. Pause. And this will get into just how crazy she is. Some of the completely vile things she's done. So, real quick, let's go to that.
And cruel. And then I was shown a picture of what the problem was. I had gone to Mr. Bett and said, she's at Coachella. I think it's a good time to go downtown so that I can get some of my things, you know, and get them out of there, especially the things that were precious to me, you know, children things from friends, Brando, Hunter, Thompson, whatever, things that were important to me. And he said, I don't think now's a good time to go. And I thought, it's the perfect time. She's not going to be home for 2 days. And then he showed me a photograph on his telephone of...
Objection, Your Honor. Also, you're saying.
It's a photograph, Your Honor.
As being relayed to him by Mr. Bett.
He says he looked at it on his phone.
Pay attention. You see, if you've been paying attention to this trial, they've been doing everything in their power to try and stop relevant things, but I think the judge has been pretty fair. The judge has done a couple of things that I don't really agree with, but I like the fact that they let them get this one off because this is crazy.
On his phone.
I'll overrule the objection as to the photograph.
What was the photograph of Mr. Depp?
It was a photograph of the bed, our bed, and on.
Let me put this in context real quick. So he had left the house for a few days and he wanted to come back to get some of his personal belongings because he wanted to get away from her. And either one of his security or maybe his butler or something and sent him a picture and basically told him, look, I don't think it's a good time to come back. Johnny Depp's like, why? So he sends him a picture.
My side of the bed was human fecal matter.
Gotcha, bitch.
So I understood why it wasn't a good time to go down there. My initial response to that was, I laughed. It was so outside. It was so bizarre and so grotesque that I could only laugh. So I did not go down there that day.
So, ladies and gentlemen, basically what he described was he was sent a picture from one of his staff members that monitors his home that this woman had taken a dump on his pillow and on the mattress of his side of the bed and left it there. The same woman, I'm on my Dr. Umar shit. The same woman who in 2018 wrote an op-ed piece in the Washington Post about the Women's Rights Act of 1994 and how the powers in that act need to be expanded. And my question is, expanded to what? To just outright convicting men right away as soon as they get accused without any court process at all? How much further can you expand on that legislation? Now, I want to make one more final point before I end this. And before I do, I want to preface it by saying I'm going to bring up race, right? But not in the traditional, victim standpoint. White men, I blame this all on you. Why? Not necessarily because of racism or white supremacy, although you could throw that in there and you could make a valid argument that it's based on that. But I just want to give you guys this piece of advice. Because I'm a student of history. I love history. And throughout, if you pay attention to history, you'll notice there's power dynamics, right? Certain groups are in power for hundreds of thousands of years. Then it shifts to another group, then it shifts to another group, then it shifts to another group. Right now, Western white men, in particular, American white men, have had the keys to basically 70% of the universe for the past 200 to 300 years, like completely, right? And in the last 100, it's been most specifically in the hands of white American men. How did y'all fuck this up? How did y'all fuck this up? The 60s was a revolutionary time where black folks who, I would say you could argue, just to keep it politically correct, but I would say for a fact, in my opinion, black folks built this country. But to be politically correct, I'll say arguably, you could argue that black folks built this country. So our plight in the 60s was relevant. But there was a certain sector in white society that used that struggle, pretended to be our friend, and watered it down with the women's liberation movement. And the other side didn't see it coming and got played, right? When I said the other side of white society. Now look what we have. Y'all could have just gave us what we supposed to get. We could have minded our business. We'd have been doing good. Y'all have been doing good. But now, the watering down of black folks simply wanting a piece of the pie that they built has turned into this feminist-led power grab that you can't control at this point. You can't control it. American society used to be based on logic to a certain degree. It used to be rooted in masculine energy, which you could argue was better off for us all, because even when you're talking about the Reagan era or the Nixon era or prior to that, there was racism, people were fighting back and forth. You could have just fixed racism. But then you decided to fix something that wasn't broken by giving women all this power. And now they've taken that power, and I'm not talking about all women, I'm talking about feminists. They've taken all this power and they've morphed it into a society that is based on feelings. And when I say feelings, I don't even mean genuine feelings. It's based on however I feel today, that's how it's gonna go. And look at us now. We're at the point now where you guys are basically giving away the keys to society to a fringe group of women who have now used that, propagandized it, and now we're at the point in life where the sun isn't the sun and the moon isn't the moon. The sun is whatever you feel like it is, and the moon is whatever you feel like it is. This has been this episode of Trippin' Ain't Easy. Peace.
I don't wanna